Yuri.
I'm Jacob.
And we're going for a drive.
Welcome to the next episode of Car Review Court, and I am defending the 2022 BMW M240i.
Against the 2022 GR Supra.
Is that a Supra?
Yeah, it's a Supra. Okay, why are we taking these two cars to Car Review Court?
Well, Yuri, there's a lot of similarities, like a lot of them, starting with the engine.
And disclaimer, for the courts, we did take the cars to Toronto Motorsport Park in Cayuga yesterday to do a little evidence shakedown to make sure that we could back up all the claims of the cars for our clients. So horsepower and torque for both of them at the same time, Jacob.
The Supra has 382 horsepower and 368 pound-feet of torque, while the BMW also has 382 horsepower, but it has 369 pound-feet of torque, exactly 1 pound-foot of torque more, from the same 3-liter turbo inline 6-cylinder with a B58 engine code.
You do not have more torque in that BMW. They just listed it in Newton meters, and then when converted, they rounded it up because it's a 0.5. That's a lie.
Why didn't yours convert then?
I don't know. Why are you asking me? Do I look like a lawyer?
I look like a lawyer today. I'm defending my client.
And then we both have the exact same ZF 8-speed with the exact same gear ratio.
Yes, but there is one big difference between us. Your Supra is rear-wheel drive, and this M240i is all-wheel drive.
And by being rear-wheel drive, that makes my client's car, the Toyota Supra, much cooler and almost 500 pounds lighter.
Yeah, you're also missing the back seats and stuff, but I want to get to my first main point, which I am assuming you're defending that is a Toyota throughout this video. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I'm a really good lawyer, so yes, we got a Toyota badge on the front. It says Supra on the back. GR is there. I'd like to see you prove me wrong.
I would like to present Exhibit A, the engine covers. Let's swap engine covers from the BMW to the Toyota Supra, and if they fit, you must acquit.
Okay, so they fit.
Yeah, so they fit. So we're not acquitting. That is a BMW.
The reasoning behind the engine cover fitting is because Toyota said it would take 10 years to develop its own Supra because they didn't have an inline 6. BMW was developing the Z4, which had an inline 6, so they teamed up together. It has actually been 3 years since the launch of the Supra.
Personally, I would have been totally fine not having any Supras for the last 3 years and then getting a real Supra at this time.
I'd like to change the defense of my client to, instead of this being a real Toyota, that this is the best BMW.
Okay, valid argument. Let's continue.
Let's start it off with a drag race. Since these have the same motors, I thought maybe the Supra might have a chance at winning because it has a lower 0 to 60. But with colder weather and the all-wheel drive system, the M240i won.
I won every single race from a dig in the BMW, and I will mention that I am on winter tires, whereas you are on summer tires, so that is a discrepancy.
So then I'd like to bring up Exhibit C, the rolling race, where I absolutely destroy that BMW in my Toyota.
You also may have jumped the gun slightly, but you still would have won, and then you ended up giving me the finger in the only race you won, so come on, you can't even submit that as evidence.
Bro, I'm a Supra driver, that's how we do.
You're a BMW driver, that's how you do.
Speaking of BMW and Supra drivers, there was once a movie called Fast and Furious where this actor, John Cena, played a character named Jacob and he drove a Toyota Supra. How dare you defend that M240i when this has so much Jacobness to it?
Yuri, I actually did see that John Cena character, somehow I saw him, and he actually had a lot of headroom in that Supra, but looking over right now, you don't actually have much headroom.
Nah, John Cena's like 6'5" and I'm 5'8", so I think they had him like as the sitting really, really low, but I mean, it did look really cool in that movie, right?
Yeah, it did. I also don't think it had any real seats because you can't fit in that. I did actually sit in that Supra. I don't know how the hell John Cena did. I couldn't even see the menu in the drive-thru.
But that's what makes this car cool. And then we got the cool roof bumps on top. This is what makes cars cool. This is what makes this the coolest BMW, is that it's not practical.
Enough about that boring stuff that nobody really cares about between these two cars. Everybody cares about how they drift at the racetrack, obviously, and that is where this BMW M240i shined. It is all-wheel drive, and it performed like a rear-wheel drive car somehow.
The all-wheel drive system helped pull it through. It made drifting much easier, but it definitely did not look better. It looked kind of lame, especially with those skinny tires. I didn't see any smoke. It drifted, but it was embarrassing.
However, I'd like to take this moment to compliment my drift. Look at this beautiful drift. I held it perfectly. It looked amazing. Now let's get to the next exhibit of Yuri's drift. Looked gorgeous in this one shot. However, in the next shot, if that continued on, Yuri, what happened there?
My driver skill wasn't up to par. Maybe I'm a little rusty, haven't been sliding all winter. So that is the fault of the lawyer, not the fault of the car. The car is still flawless, perfect, and I love everything about it.
Ooh, bad lawyer for a good car.
The lawyer has bad driving skills. He's not a bad lawyer.
Yuri, what are we doing in the new Lexus IS 500? Video coming soon.
Well, today, March 31st, is actually World Backup Day. So SanDisk Professional and DV Shop hooked us up with these G-RAID 2 drives to back up all of our data. So here's a 36 terabyte for you.
That's a lot of data.
And a 36 terabyte for me. These feature a hardware RAID controller with speeds up to 500 megabytes per second. USB-C and Thunderbolt 3 connectivity, can do a RAID 1 mirror for instant redundancy, and has a 5-year warranty. They're available in Canada from dvshop.ca, where we get all of our camera gear, or worldwide from westerndigital.com. They're perfect for all your storage and backup needs. Jacob and I both had little babies, so we have a lot of baby photos to back up.
Yeah, back up all your family memories in case you don't film car reviews. There's a lot of stuff that you don't want lost.
And the TheStraightPipes only uses SanDisk professional storage products.
It's true. And another thing we tested at the racetrack, we can also test it out here, is the engine sound. Let's take a listen and let the jury decide which one sounds better.
I'd like to thank the judge and jury in the comments below for saying that the Supra is the better BMW sounding engine, undeniably.
However, I have evidence to refute that. Yuri, you own a Fiat 500 Abarth, you had a crackle tune on it, and you removed it.
Because it was too loud. And in the spirit of the Abarth, guess what motor is in the Fiat 124 Spider Abarth, which is a clone of a Mazda Miata? The Fiat 500 Abarth motor. It's a cool thing to repurpose cars. Supra is amazing.
So I'd like to introduce the next exhibit, donuts. Everyone thinks you can't really do proper donuts in an all-wheel drive car. However, as an excellent lawyer, I proved them all wrong and did the finest donuts.
Those were nice donuts. I didn't see any smoke coming from the M240i wheels, probably because of the front-wheel driveness. Did you like the way the donuts looked in the Toyota Supra?
No comment. However, I do enjoy a good tire smoke show.
And speaking of tire smoke shows, if I wanted to warm up the tires for a better launch in the Supra, I can just do a brake stand. And I think it looked pretty nice. How about in the BMW? Can you do a burnout in that?
Yuri, that is a very childish act, which I do not condone in my all-wheel drive vehicle.
But lawyer Jacob, you do own a Fox body with line lock, right?
That evidence is inadmissible. That's about Jacob, not lawyer Jacob.
Fine. Little sidebar, under oath. Dude, this Supra sounds so much better for the same engine. I love that they use like the old style tuning and backfires.
Sidebar? Yeah, I really like how that sounds.
Yeah, dude, so sick.
The startup sound on that is amazing. This thing doesn't sound like anything on startup.
I know, man. It sucks having a new BMW.
Okay, back to the court of law.
And then both of these do have a launch control, but obviously the launch control works a little better in the all-wheel drive system.
Yeah, so on paper, the Supra is actually faster with a 0 to 60 of 3.9, but in reality, cold tires, I can do that 0 to 60 even faster every single time in the BMW.
And even doing a burnout to warm up the tires a little bit in that weather near 0 degrees did not help the Supra.
And just to double check, Yuri, we have the exact same gear ratios. Let's downshift into second right now and floor it in 3, 2, 1. Oh, you're gonna pull away now. And Yuri, there's this statement of fact that's floating around on the internet, and everything on the internet is true. Everybody says that you can't drive rear-wheel drive cars in the winter. There's just no way. That's what makes this M240i all-wheel drive a vehicle that you can use throughout the whole year.
That is a myth made up by cowards. You can totally drive rear-wheel drive all year in the winter. especially if you put on the Continental recommended tire, the Viking Contact 7.
Ah, damn it, you're right. Sidebar, the internet is wrong, and the recommended Continental summer tire would be the Extreme Contact Sport for both.
And if you're looking to get some summer tires for your car, hit up continentaltire.com/TheStraightPipes to see what your Continental recommended tire is.
So on the topic of tires, let's switch to wheels and the actual look of them. These black wheels for winter on this BMW are fantastic, makes it look so aggressive.
Why do you have a smile on your face while you're saying that? Say it with a straight face. You know everything about the Supra looks better. The wheels, the body line, the front, the back, the headlights, the taillights. Nothing about that M240i looks better than this Supra.
Did you hear that? It's me swallowing my pride. This vehicle belongs in the Museum of Modern Art. It is beautiful.
This Supra is just so freaking good looking, man. Did you know that there is a meme where people say, is that a Supra? Have you ever heard the meme, is that a BMW M240i with xDrive? No.
No, and I mean, I used that meme in the beginning of the video, probably against me right now.
And proof that this is a Supra, a real Supra, that meme also applies to this, not just the 4th generation.
I bring up Exhibit A again.
True, this is a BMW, but is also a Supra.
Look, the headlights on this BMW are so futuristic, it is taking the brand to a new level.
I'll admit, you do have a nice wide body and really nice body lines, and that purple paint in nice sun is very nice.
And Yuri, while you have these round exhaust tips, I think it's time to reinvent the circle and you make it a square-ish.
And not connected?
Yeah, that is the pinnacle of where we're going with exhaust. I can't even.
How about all the M badges? Because that's a real M car, right?
There is enough M badges in here to make me believe so.
Nice, nice.
Okay, so a lot of BMW stuff in that car, but let's get to the interior. There can't be too much BMW stuff in there, except the whole damn inside of that car is all BMW. Your infotainment, 100% BMW. Yes, there's a Supra looking thing in there. However, if you look inside your gauge cluster and you set your cruise control, Yuri, what does that little icon remind you of? A Toyota Supra or a BMW?
It reminds me of a BMW, but I am admitting that this is a BMW. It is the coolest BMW. I've got the older infotainment. Everything in here is simple, it works well. I still have wireless Apple CarPlay. I have the command knob and everything, and they simplified it. I have sport mode, sport individual, and normal mode. That's it, it's perfect, very simple.
Yes, BMW definitely did get it right, and then you basically got the same thing and copied my homework. So I have Sport, Comfort, Eco Pro, and then there's subsections within Sport, so I can go to Sport Plus and Individual as well.
Isn't it a known fact that cars are too complicated these days?
Yes, but this isn't one of those cars.
Sure, okay. My gauge cluster, I have something very individual to Toyota. I've got this cool bevel 3D thing all around it with an amazing gauge cluster. Very simple. The Toyota wins hands down for that.
I will give you that. That does look fantastic. It does look better than this. I am a huge fan of tacks that go the opposite way, as everybody knows. So this BMW is quite impressive.
And in my Supra, I have a wonderful wireless charger in front of the shifter with a little cover so my phone can't slide out, and 2 perfect cup holders that'll fit a small cup. Nice back around my elbow area, totally don't get in the way at all.
Under oath, you're straight up lying. Tell me right now.
A little bit.
100%. Those cup holders are placed so poorly in that Supra. The cup holder placement in this BMW is so much better. And then I have my wireless charger in front. This is way better than what's in that Supra.
Something you cannot deny is that the steering wheel in the Supra is much better. Nice thin Toyota style wheel. It is great.
The steering wheel and the actual steering feel is definitely better in the Supra. Sorry, BMW. This has very, very weird steering that I just can't, as a lawyer, I can't get used to this.
Let's make our way down to Cliche Corner while we finish off the interior. Go back and forth 1 or 2 times to really test that out and then come to a conclusion. But interior-wise, what else do we want to talk about?
In the BMW, there's a lot of hard buttons to control everything. I know how much you love your 1 through 8 favorites. This has that, as does your Supra.
And with both of these, we can set up our SiriusXM as smart favorites so that we can rewind and set them to our 1 to 8s. But on the Supra, I can rewind with time shift with my left and right which you can't do in the newer infotainments.
Yeah, I have to use the jump back button in the M240i, which is fine. The seats are very comfortable, I would say, in both cars, so no real issue, no real winner there either.
Yeah, unless you need a back seat, in which case I cannot deny that the Supra is not the car for you. And having a trunk is cool if you want that, but having a big hatch like in the Supra is also very nice.
While the hatch is nice and you do have 0.2 extra cubic feet of cargo space, it's actually easier to get stuff in this BMW just because the opening is just wider. And on top of that, I can actually fold the seats down and get even more space in here.
But now let's get to the visors. You ready for it?
Ready.
Oh my God. Okay, my visor doesn't move.
3, 2, 1. Ha! Full pass. I win.
But cool sporty cars are all about unpractical stuff, which makes the Supra a winner anyways. Oh,
yeah, I mean,
no, I changed my mind. My head is so high up because of the roof that I don't need to block the sun because the roof does that for me.
Yeah, okay, fine, I guess. And you also don't have 4 seats, so I can actually accommodate 3 extra people in here and have a great time.
Jacob, I'm going to put my Supra into cruise control with adaptive, and I'll be fine. Do you have adaptive in that M240i as spec?
As spec, I do not.
Wow, embarrassing. But you can get it if you pay a little bit more money.
Yeah, and maybe this is spec'd out to be a little bit cheaper than your Supra anyways.
And if you're shopping for either of these 2 cars and you want to check out the prices, hit up tsp.truecar.com.
That's where you'll find discount or price offers on both cars, and we actually have evidence of you guys buying through our link Toyota Supras and BMW M240is.
So if you're one of those people who bought a 2 Series or a Supra through our tsp.truecar.com link, leave a comment below, let us know how you like yours, and if you want to switch after seeing this video.
So we're heading into Cliche Corner. Let's talk about all the real fun stuff. No drifting here, just suspension and steering and power.
The Supra is much twitchier and much more responsive steering, but man, on track, at the edge, it lets go so much quicker than that M240i.
And suspension comfort is equal in both. Very, very good. They are adaptive dampers.
Yo, go faster through Cliche, bro. Come on, I'm in a Supra.
I was just trying to let you keep up. See you later.
Oh, it's a lot louder in the Supra, I think, than it is in the M240i. I think that's like a much more dailyable car.
Yeah, this BMW is definitely quieter inside. I'm just gonna downshift and rip it. Sounds more refined.
And I'm gonna do a nice downshift and get some crackles and pops. Perfection, Supra. Perfection. All right, Jacob, now follow me into Cliche Corner in the Supra. I'm going to be in Sport with 1 traction.
I will be in the exact same Sport Plus with 1 traction.
And with the twitchy steering, ooh, yeah, no understeer, little oversteer.
And this wants to understeer a little bit at first, and then it will happily oversteer, which makes this so fun to drive through here. Very, very neutral.
Yeah, and if you're careful, you can stay in it really nice on the Supra and just like ride that edge. But it's kind of like that RCF was last year, where if you go a little too much, it's gone.
And I believe your Supra actually has close to 50-50, if not 50-50 weight distribution, and this just kind of feels very, very tail happy.
Yeah, I did read that they moved the engine back an inch from the Z4 to reach perfect 50-50 weight distribution, where the BMW is 47 rear, 53 front.
So coming out of Cliche Corner, I think they both handle very, very well, considering one is all-wheel drive, one is rear-wheel drive. They both hold their own, no problem.
Yeah, I think the Supra is more for people who want to work on their driving skill and just be more on the edge, where the M240i is just a little safer and easier to go quicker. Would you agree?
I would totally agree. This is definitely easy mode.
So now I guess we should get to the price so we could end this car review court.
The BMW is $68,595 as spec'd.
Which BMW?
The one I'm in.
Canadian.
Everybody knows BMWs are expensive, right? So it's a Toyota, it's gotta be cheap. That one is as spec'd $70,075, which is more than this BMW.
Very similar price. Should we take off our lawyer gear and figure out which one's better?
Yeah, okay, I guess I'll just get undressed at this point. I actually really like the Supra. As much as this BMW kind of really makes sense because it's all-wheel drive, you can drive it throughout the winter, no problem. You can definitely do that with the Supra as well. The Supra is just more fun, it's more of a challenge. Rear-wheel drive is just always better.
Every time I look at this Supra, I'm like, oh my God. I always got to double take. I always want to look at it. The M240i didn't really catch my attention. Maybe when the M2 comes out, but I just think this is just too good looking of a car to be beaten.
As much as I said this belonged in an art museum, I think it actually belongs in a trash pile. I get very excited seeing that Supra every time I see it. I never get excited seeing this BMW.
So let us know which lawyer did the better job defending their client, and if Jacob convinced you that the M240i is better.
Was it lawyer Jacob and the BMW, or lawyer Yuri and the other BMW?
Thanks for watching, guys.
Oh, and shout out to BMW Blog. You guys always share our BMW related videos. We actually have a podcast on there right now, so go check it out after this video.
So would you agree this is probably the coolest BMW?
Yes.
Cooler than an M2 CS in manual?
No.
The coolest non-manual BMW?
Yes.